Justice and Coffee podcast. Now, before we get started on the series, I thought it might be helpful to take a few minutes and do some sort of explainer to describe why we are doing this podcast, how it came about, and what you've got to expect from it. So that's what I'm going to do. I suppose first off, I should introduce myself. My name is Bryn Frere-Smith, and I'm going to be hosting the show. I should say that I am in absolutely no way qualified to do this. Beyond my drama A-level, and the short stint I did on Bexhill College Radio when I was 16 years old, which essentially meant playing a selection of my favourite songs through some terrible speakers in the school canteen whilst people were eating their lunch. There were no mics or anything. I think I did it twice in total. Beyond that, I have nothing to draw on in order to pull this thing off, so I'm already appealing for clemency. My hope is that the brilliance of the guests we have coming on the podcast will be more than enough to conceal, or at least distract you, the listener, from my amateurism. That said, I'm really excited about this. So the show is being produced by Blue Bear Coffee Co. Blue Bear is a specialty coffee company that donates all of its profits to organisations fighting human trafficking and caring for survivors. I founded Blue Bear last year as a response to my experience investigating human trafficking and a desire to do something scalable that would allow us to make sizable investments into the fight to end human trafficking. And that's the principal aim of the company. The secondary aim of the company is to raise awareness for some of the amazing individuals and organisations that are effectively taking on this issue, investigating human trafficking, prosecuting offenders, protecting victims, providing aftercare services, changing legislation, lobbying government. The space is chock-a-block with super impressive people who've given their lives to this issue, and they don't get nearly enough praise or encouragement or PR. And in most cases, they're not asking for it. But I want to shine a light on them as much as I'm capable of doing. So this podcast aims to do exactly that. Let's find out a bit more about who these people are, what the issue is that they've dedicated themselves to, and how, if possible, we can help them. Now, it's not just going to be about human trafficking related issues. We're going to hear from people from a variety of backgrounds and fields. The only common thread will be the issue of justice. What I mean when I use the word justice is that distinction between right and wrong. In most cases, we're going to hear about a wrong that exists somewhere in the world, but also how that wrong is being put right. How it came about? Well, I received an email from a lady who was reading our online blog, and she explained that she had sight issues and asked whether we could add an audio file to the blog so she could hear it read out, which we did. But she went on to suggest perhaps we would consider doing a podcast. And so the seed was planted. I really hope you enjoy this podcast. If you don't, give it a couple of episodes and see whether we can change your mind. My interview technique is going to have to improve over time. So give me that chance, please. If you still don't like it, then keep your thoughts to yourself. If you do like it, please take a couple of minutes to rate and review it on whichever platform you hear us on and share us with your network. I don't know about you, but I love hearing people's stories of how they came to get involved in fighting for justice. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. So, in a nutshell, that is it. Consider yourself introduced. Our first show comes out on October 14th. Please join us on this journey.